Welcome to Rapid Films. Today I will be talking about a horror, adventure and action film called World War Z. So let's begin. Former UN employee Gerry Lane, his wife Karen and their two daughters Rachel and Constance wake and enjoy a family breakfast. Gerry tells Constance, the youngest daughter, that he quit his job to spend more time with the family. On the TV is some news about strife and talk of martial law. Later they sit in heavy Philadelphia traffic when the city is attacked by a horde of zombies. These attackers move very quickly, biting people and the bitten being turned very rapidly. The Lanes are in a car crash during the panic stampede, and Gerry notices it takes approximately 12 seconds for a bitten person to change. As the chaos spreads, the Lanes escape from the city in a stolen RV. They stop near Newark, New Jersey at a large food store where Karen stocks up on whatever food she can carry. His wife is attacked by looters and Gerry shoots one of them, and Karen is let go. For a brief moment, it looks as though a police officer might arrest Gerry despite his holding the rifle over his head, but the officer is simply looking for supplies himself. Outside the store, the family takes refuge in an apartment complex in New York. Deputy Secretary General Thierry Umitani calls and tells the family that he is sending a helicopter to rescue them. However, it will take until the next morning to arrive. The Lanes hide out in a small apartment with a Latino family. Gerry, believing that the best chance of survival is to keep moving, is unable to convince Thomas' families to leave with them. The next morning, the Lanes creep through the mostly abandoned tenement, trying to find the roof, but the undead detect them and they are chased to the roof. When Gerry is attacked by several zombies, they spew blood on him. Arriving on the roof, Gerry steps to the edge, ready to throw himself off if the blood spilled on his face makes him turn into a zombie. After holding off another horde of the undead, the family boards the chopper and escapes. The helicopter takes the Lanes to a USA Navy aircraft carrier off the coast of New York City with a whole group of other refugees. On board, there is a team of scientists and military personnel are analyzing the scope of worldwide outbreak. Terry is waiting there for them and fixes them up with bunks. A virologist, Dr. Andrew Fastback, argues that the plague is a virus whose origin must be found in order of vaccine to be developed. Because of his expertise as a former UN investigator, Gerry is tasked with helping Fastback find the outbreak source. Gerry reluctantly agrees to help on given the word that his family will be safe, and is sent to Camp Humphreys, a military base in South Korea, where an email was received about 11 days prior that stated the outbreak may have started there. Moments after arriving at the base, Gerry's team is attacked by zombies. The frightened and cowardly Fastback is killed after accidentally shooting himself after slipping on the ramp of the C-130 plane. The gunshot alerts the zombies roaming the area, forcing Gerry and the crew to run. After being rescued by the base surviving personnel, Gerry learns that the zombies are attracted to the noise. The soldiers on the base, led by Captain Spake, explained that a Korean soldier had been out in the field doing research when he was attacked and turned. The corpse of the infected man attacked the base doctor and both were incinerated. Spake tells Gerry how one of his men was able to stand in the middle of the infected people and not be attacked. When Gerry asks the soldier, who walks with a slight limp, how he injured his leg, the soldier tells him something's been bothering him lately. Gerry talks to an ex-CIA agent, Hafner, who had been arrested for selling arms to North Korea. He tells Gerry a chilling account of how the North Korean government was able to contain the outbreak in their country by pulling the teeth of every citizen within a 24-hour period, giving its citizens no way to infect each other through bites. Hafner tells Gerry to go to Jerusalem, where the Israeli Mossad had established a safe zone just before the outbreak was officially acknowledged, implying Israel might have had prior knowledge of what was to come. To get the C-130 refueled and Gerry aboard, Specs men ride in a fleet of bicycles to avoid making any noise. Jerry's satellite phone goes off when Karen tries to call him, and the undead attack. The plane is refueled successfully, and Jerry and the C-130 pilot manage to escape. In Jerusalem, Jerry meets Mossad leader Georgian Wombrun, who explains that the Mossad had months earlier intercepted communication from an army general in India who stated that Indian troops were fighting the Rakshasa, or dead spirits. Wombrun also explains how the Jerusalem has built a formidable wall with at least 50 feet height, and refugees are being brought into the quarantine zone, including non-Jews and Muslims. While Jerry talks with Georgian, a group of Muslim refugees begin to sing joyously at finding a safe zone to survive in. One of the women is able to find a microphone, and the singing grows louder. Attracted to the singing, the zombies outside begin to climb the protective wall, forming a massive pile that eventually succeeds in entering the city. While fleeing, Jerry notices that an old man and an emaciated boy are ignored by the zombies. A young Israeli woman soldier, Sagan, Jerry's escort, is bitten by a zombie. Jerry quickly amputates her hand to stop the spread of the infection, counting to 12 until he is sure that she won't turn. Jerry and Sagan eventually make it to the airport and manage to board a Belarus Airways airline after Jerry's pilot panics and flies away. Contacting Terry, Jerry asks for the nearest WHO or CDC type lab. They are diverted to a WHO research facility in Cardiff, Wales. While in the air, a stowaway zombie is released from the cargo hold and attacks a flight attendant. She attacks the rest of passengers. The plane crashes near Cardiff after Jerry detonates a grenade to kill the zombie. Sagan and Jerry proceed as the only apparent survivors of the crash. Jerry has been impaled by a chunk of metal. Sagan finds him and they walk to Cardiff and find the WHO facility. Out of contact, the US Navy assumes he is dead and deports his family to Nova Scotia. After arriving at the facility, Jerry passes out at the gate and awakes 3 days later, strapped to a gurney. His wound has been treated and bandaged. He is able to convince the staff of the facility that he is there on a specific mission. The men watching him call his wife's satellite phone. Terry answers the phone and tells Jerry that his family were considered non-essential personnel and were relocated to land-based facility. Jerry is upset, but Terry is able to verify Jerry's identity to suspicious WHO staff. Jerry reveals a theory to the very scientists that signs the old man and the sickly boy in Jerusalem were ignored, as well as a homeless wino Jerry briefly witnessed in New York that the zombie bypassed, and the story the soldier with a limp told about the zombie ignoring him. The infected do not bite people who are seriously injured or already terminally ill, since they would be unsuitable as host for viral reproduction. He volunteers to inject himself with the terminal but curable pathogen to see if this idea works. However, the wing of the building in which the pathogens are stored was overrun by zombies after a doctor accidentally infected himself. Jerry decides to retrieve a pathogen regardless, while Sagan and one of the WHO doctors follow him for backup. They fight their way through the zombies, and Jerry finally gets to the pathogen. Inside, Jerry fills a small box with vials of pathogens from 2 separate cabinets. The scientists watch him on camera, remarking that the left cabinet contains deadly and incurable disease. Jerry gets ready to leave and sees one of the undead doctors outside, cornered and without a suitable weapon. He decides to inject himself to see if this theory will work. He shows the scientist a note saying, "Tell my family I love them," and chooses a vial at random from the box. Gerry waits a short time and opens the door to the vault. The former doctor ignores him and Gerry is able to walk out past the horde of zombies that have infested the facility. After he makes it back to the safe part of the facility, everyone rejoices at his theory's success and the doctors cure him of the pathogen. Gerry returns to his family in a safe zone in Freeport, Nova Scotia. A vaccine derived from deadly pathogens is developed and that can act as camouflage for the troops battling the infected. Airdrops are performed, delivering the pathogen to all parts of the world. Human safety program begins against the zombies and hope is restored. Russia is particularly successful in halting the pandemic with military and civilian force. Gerry comments, "This isn't the end, not even close." The movie closes. So this was the movie recap from the film World War Z. What do you think Gerry meant by this isn't the end? Please comment below and let us know about your reviews.